once you got your turbo out of the way, make sure this hole in the back of the intake is clear. Make sure you got replacement oil seals for your pedestal. And make sure this metal line is not damaged. Sometimes the clamp will damage that line. I took the bracket off. You can wrap a piece of rubber hose around it if you want. Alright, now that we got this thing off of here, let's get it apart here. 8mm 12 point. Yeah, we got a little oil in there. That came off pretty darn easy, I guess because it's covered in oil. Don't see anything that's too hateful. That's your wastegate, if you didn't already know that. Builds up too much pressure, it activates that and lets the exhaust pressure out. Just blows it out the downpipe. The way it's rounded there, I don't remember a trick to this, but it's flat on that one side, the other side's rounded. 11/16 fits it. Really need like a bent wrench to get down in there because only the tip of my wrench is actually getting on it. Try something different here. Put the wrench straight in there like that. We'll use another wrench for a little leverage here. Oh, is this going to work or not? We're going to learn together here. Here, we got it. Alright. I got 11/16 on that side. Just stick another wrench in it to give it a little leverage, but keep it straight on there. And I got a 5/8 on the other end here. And it managed to break loose. You can see the oil on the back side of that there. Well, it has been rubbing or burning oil a lot there. That should be nice and shiny there, and you can see where it's been slinging oil out there, I believe, for a long time. Just so you guys know, this truck's got just under 250,000 miles on it. It's like 246. And from all indications, this is original. So this, and I don't know that for sure, guys. I bought this truck about 6 years ago. I have no idea what the history of it is, but maybe somebody watching this knows a little bit more and can tell me I'm wrong, but I believe it's original. So, 225,000 miles out of a stock turbo. Not too bad. Boy, I wish I had an 8mm socket with 12 points on it. I'm going to go look one more time. I actually took this turbo off at another shop, a friend of mine. And since I took it off over there, all of my tools are over at the shop. I set them in the front seat of the truck thinking, oh, I won't need them. I got everything I need at home to get this apart. Pretty sure I've got an 8mm 12 point in there. Yeah, I'll quit before I tear something up, round the bolt off here. I'll get back to you once I get me a 12 point socket. Alright, got an 8mm socket on my 3/8 drive ratchet. A lot easier. That's the way it ought to work. what we're looking for. Don't see anything obviously broken. Not that I was expecting it. That shaft looks good. Looser than I expected. Alright, I did go ahead and put the new seal on there off the camera, and the seals I'm putting in there are supposed to be an upgrade from the originals. They have the step in them. Supposed to seal better. I don't know if it does or not. Makes sense to me because it overlaps a little bit. Also on the new kit that I bought, this has the open ring, which slides on there. Your seal goes on there for your cold side. But on the new one, instead of this sliding together like that, it is a solid ring. I'll show you here real quick. Alright, we got our gaskets here. Pedestal seals. We don't want to lose them. Okay, on the new one, this piece is now 2 parts. So instead of the 1 piece, like you see there, this is now 2 pieces. So that this ring, solid ring, supposed to be an upgrade, goes together as 2 pieces. Or actually 3 pieces, I guess it would be. But here is your seal for your cold side. Again, it's a step washer, or a step seal I should say. It's a metal seal. When it closes down in there, it overlaps. Supposed to give it a much better seal. Makes sense to me. Get rid of my old parts. Here, I'll show you up close. That is the original seal. Does not have the step in it. Hopefully that's picking that up. I'll try to get you a picture of it. But anyway, when you put this together, like I said, I've already put the new seal on there. Got the new bearings. These bearings are not directional, and there is 2 of them. They're both identical. You've got your spacer that goes in the middle. Again, this is not directional. It can go on either way, upside down, right side up, doesn't matter. And then you've got your second bearing. And that's pretty much how that goes together. So you got your new seal, your bearing, your spacer, and your second bearing. Alright, now, I can remember how this thing all came apart. You got your cap there. Now this will be completely encased in carbon, depending on how many miles are on your truck. This truck has 240 some thousand on it, 250,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. Clean all this out, get as much out of it as you can, brake cleaner, whatever, parts cleaner. Make sure your bearings are all stacked on there correctly. Hold this upright, flip this upside down, should slide right in there. Now that seal takes a little persuasion, not much. Take a rubber hammer or your hand and just kind of smack it down in there, and that'll pop that right into place. It doesn't take much. I mean, just a little smack on it. Rubber hammer, your hand works fine. Alright, after you get that in there, now this piece will only go in this housing one way. These bolt holes are offset just enough that it will not go together the wrong way. Now, you know your exhaust point's down, so your pedestal's down, so you can pretty much know your oil holes have to go down. So right there, I mean, it only goes on one way, but if you're not sure, look at your exhaust comes in the back, your oil's on the bottom. Now, this kit does come with new bolts too. We'll get rid of all of our old parts here so I don't get them mixed up here. And I always love it when I got parts left over at the end and I don't know where they go. Okay. If you got it lined up right, all your bolts will line up together. Now on these bolts here too, it does take a 1/4 inch drive socket to get down in this hole. Let's see here. If you don't have a socket, yeah, we'll shut that off. We don't need that right now. Okay, anyway, I was saying if you don't have a socket that will fit down in this hole, you can use a 12.8mm wrench, and you can get to these from the side here. A little bit slower, but just a little tip. 8mm or 12 point, 1/4 inch drive, or an 8mm 12 point wrench. I tried a 3/8. My 3/8 drive socket would not fit down in the hole. Alright, we're just going to snug these down for now, and we'll back up and torque them down. These are not something you want to leave loose, because if these back out or come loose, you will find this turbo in about 10 million pieces all over the top of your engine and down in the intake or exhaust pipe. Now as you're putting this together, rubbing. Make sure you're spinning freely. Not sure what we're rubbing on there, but okay. It's just because the shaft is still got a little play in it, because the other side's just dragging on the bottom there. But as you tighten these down, make sure nothing's binding up. Okay, like I said, you can go in from the side here. These are not recessed enough. I'll show you what I'm doing here. You've got a area in the side there where you can get your wrench in there. So if you don't have a way to get down in there, you just need to get a little extra torque on it. Use my hammer impact here. I'm sure somebody will tell me not to do that, but alright, I think that's tight enough to get it on down the road long after I'm done with it. Okay, now again, this will only go on one way too. You got this little plus sign shaped gasket here. Make sure you get that. It's got little tabs on it. You can just kind of make sure you get it down in there real good. There is no top or bottom or left or right to that. You want to make sure you get that down in there good so when you tighten it down in there it doesn't pinch. If you've made it this far, I'm sure you've got that figured out though. Again, that takes a little persuasion to get it in there. Okay, so there we go. Got the bottom piece in there. Your ring comes through the center there. And I believe that's correct. Our seal is still in place. That's still in place. We knew that came off that way. Now we're getting somewhere. Still spinning freely. Again, I would not tighten these down all at once. Do a little bit on each one. Kind of back and forth, crisscross pattern. That way it evenly tightens that seal down. Just get your little pick or screwdriver or something. Pull that out of there. That way you got a good clean surface. You can tell that's seen better days. Alright, we'll get our new one here and make sure we're all straight. It does help put a little oil on this. Helps too if you make sure when you're doing video you got all this stuff sitting here on the table ready to go. One day I'll learn. Maybe. Okay, doesn't take a lot, just enough to kind of lube that up. Help it slide down on there a little easier. Try not to roll it. You want to push it as straight down as you can. I mean, it's almost impossible not to roll it a little bit. As you push it over that edge, it'll start to roll. Just kind of try to keep it straight. I don't know about all the Wizard wheels and Super wheels and high performance wheels and all that. This is the one that came with the kit. This kit called it a Wizard wheel, but I've seen different designs that people call Wizard wheels that look different than this. That's the original one, came out of it. That's the one that I'm putting in it, that I was told is a Wizard wheel. Whatever it is, that's what we're using. You can also take an impact wrench, hold this side with your fingers. I don't personally like doing that. Just turn your impact wrench down really low, put it on the cold side, and then you can just kind of hold this one back here a little bit and keep tapping on it until it tightens up. Okay, I got that bottomed out now, and what I like to do, go about a quarter turn, so we'll hold the other side, we'll go about a quarter turn after it bottoms out, and that way we make sure that it's on there tight enough it ain't going to come off. I believe the way it spins it would tighten itself down with the resistance anyway, but alright, I wish they'd put a bolt head on or nothing on that. I hate putting vice grips or something like that on it. I guess you could, but like I said, about a quarter turn after she bottoms out. And that should give you plenty. And again, that should still spin very freely. You should have almost zero. I mean, they say 1 to 3 thousandths, I think. That's what I've heard. I've probably got right at about 1, maybe 2 thousandths of play there. Not much, but that should spin free. If that's binding up, you have to tear this thing apart again and find out what's going on, because that has to spin very freely. This was actually still working when I took it off, but that was so rusty when I pulled the rubber hose off the end of it, it pulled the metal right off with it. Probably was leaking a little bit, so. Anyway, it's your wastegate actuator. Yep, that's what I said. And this will only go on one way too. You cannot put this on in a way that it will bolt together and not work. That kit did not come with new bolts for this part. Well, we will reuse our old ones. Anytime you're tightening this down too, just make sure you're still spinning free. You don't want to bend anything. Another thing, I'm sure some people watching this, you can have that assembly balanced. I've never done it. I've never had a problem. Hopefully I don't on this one, but like I said, this is not a truck that I run high RPMs, even high boost levels. Factory boost is about 15. I think the actuator I got is minimum of 16, and I will set it at the minimum setting, just enough to keep me running as close to stock as possible. And I didn't buy the heavier duty one just to run more boost. I bought it because it was heavier duty and it was actually about the same price, so I didn't see any reason to go with the standard one. Heading down the home stretch now. Plan on getting up early tomorrow and getting this all back in the truck. Hopefully have it running tomorrow. Okay, that little clip fits on there. Should fit on there anyway. Some of these are actually a little thicker. If you buy kind of a generic, this will have to be filed down because it will not fit down on there enough to get your clip on. That's another reason I went ahead and bought the little bit more expensive one. It was literally like $6 more. It wasn't worth the time to screw with the other one. but they do work. Actually it might, because that does have a drain hole in it. We will put that facing down then. Alright, and the way you set these, close your wastegate all the way. And if you want to set the minimum boost, well, a lot of you guys are probably trying to set more boost, but anyway, if you want more boost, turn this in. And from my experience, one turn is about 1 pound of boost. So if you back this all the way off so that it just barely fits over that, okay, right there. I mean, it goes over, but it's snug. Let me go half a turn. That should be your minimum boost level. And this will pull out. It's very hard to pull, but it will pull out. You can also put pressure on it. Turn your air compressor down to about 25-30 psi. You don't want to put more than, I don't know, I've heard up to 50 on these, but you will bust that diaphragm if you hook it up to an air compressor at 120 psi. Alright, so I'm just a little bit above what I would consider minimum. Nothing that's going to make a noticeable difference. But in other words, if you want to run as much boost as you can get out of one of these, crank that rod down tighter. This one's rated up to 33 psi, which I do not want to put that much boost into a truck that's all original with 240,000 miles on it. If you do have at it. So I am going to stretch that just a little bit, push it down on there, put my jam nut on there, and that's how hard it is to adjust that. And if you have a gauge or something, you can put it on there and do all that fun testing stuff. And then just take this little clip off of there and adjust it in or out however you want to do. Make sure you get that all the way down on there or it will pop back off when you least expect it. And if that little clip comes off, your wastegate will open and close whenever it wants to. There we go. She ain't going nowhere now. But anyway, that's pretty much all there is to rebuild one of these things. If you got the tools to do it and don't want to pay, I don't know, I think I saw these, a Garrett Turbo rebuilt. I believe it was rebuilt. It was like $900 plus a $210 core. The kit that I bought for this and the actuator, total 150 bucks. You can probably find it cheaper with all the standard parts, but I upgraded the oil seals to the step seals, and the actuator's a little bit heavier duty, and the what they call the wizard wheel. If you wanted to use your stock wheel, which mine was fine, it wouldn't hurt a thing. But anyway, we'll get this back in the truck. I'll look it over real good before I start climbing up in the engine bay again. Make sure everything is as it should be. Get our new oil pedestal seals and everything on there. Get everything hooked back up. And hopefully we'll hear this thing purr again. One more thing I will do here before I wrap this up and put it on the truck is I'll put some oil, quite a bit of oil, down in this thing, just to make sure everything is good and lubed. Give the oil system time to get some oil up into it so it's lubed. And I'll show you another thing you can do here, just to make sure everything is spinning freely. Take your air compressor with just a blowgun on it, and you can actually blow in the exhaust. Everything's spinning freely, there's nothing squealing. You know, there's nothing that rubbing. Nothing doing anything it's not supposed to. But that's just kind of a little backyard test. It ain't really going to prove a whole lot other than the fact that it's spinning freely and not doing what it's not supposed to do. Anyway, next time you see me, we'll be putting it on the truck. Wish I could get my head back here where the camera's at. I can see what I'm doing. Put this on too. I think this valve only goes one way. Make sure it's open and your handle is straight out, or straight to the back, I should say. Or closed, I guess. That's closed right there. Either way, just as long as it's not pointing the other direction. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up here. Truck's been running probably 5 or 10 minutes now. I don't know if you can hear the truck on the video or not, but it's got a little bit more whine than stock, but not so loud that it's annoying. I'm gonna go ahead and take it for a quick little ride here, try it out, and put this video to bed.